This series has some of the most drawn out season. This series has. Hi and welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben and this is my review for Shahmaran. It's a new Turkish series I was a little bit excited for, but also a little bit worried for. When it comes to Turkish Netflix original series, they seem to be sometimes amazing and then peter off on the deep end as subsequent seasons are revealed. And you're like, oh no, we started at a good place and we ended up a bad place. I went in with mixed feelings. Was it worth my while? Let's talk about it. When Sahsu goes to Adana for a lecture, it's the perfect chance to face her estranged grandfather, but soon she finds herself in the midst of a legend. So this is the thing that drew me into this series. The lore that we got from the trailer, at least. I thought, that could be good, but it also looks like one of those drama llamas. And it's totally a drama llama. Now, I'm here to say I've only watched the first 4 out of the 8. So I've watched half the season and I'm not sure I'm going to go back to it. Because this series has some of the most drawn out scenes I've ever seen portrayed on TV, and it would rival June. The forlorn looks that characters are looking off into the distance as they're talking about a story bit unfolding. They'll look and it'll be seconds, and then it'll be tens of seconds, and then it'll be a minute. I'm not exaggerating. Just watch the pilot. If you manage to get through the pilot because of how slow and drawn out each scene is, then you've done well. Because honestly, not a lot happens between each episode. You could literally take the first few minutes and the last few minutes of each episode and get the gist of what's happening with each episode. Because that's where the most action happens. You have each episode starts off with a sort of thing that's the hook to drive you to watch. First episode is exactly that. Second episode is exactly that. You have this family that I would equate to watching a Twilight movie. The family that is a bit mysterious, that have the sources of power, and we, the viewer, know what's going on. But our new character who comes to see her strange grandfather doesn't know what's going on. And so they draw that bit out, but you expect them to draw that bit out. There's not going to be the reveal of who she is or what she is or the lore coming into it. What needed to happen in this series, though, is we needed a lot more of the fantasy lore driven in there. It is very few and far between. When we do see it, it's creepy, it's fantastical, and it's awesome. And I wanted more of that. And talking a little bit more about the positives, the cinematography is great. Some of the night scenes, some of the slow pacing scenes, we get to see the cinematography or the direction of the cinematography and the lighting established together as to something that's very visually pleasing aesthetically. I liked all that. And the acting, I think, is fun. You can listen to the dub, which is fine, but always watch the original language. And in the original language, you get to see the inflections, the voice iterations of what the actors or the director wanted the actors to portray. And you get that. Unfortunately, a lot of the dialogue is drawn out. Unfortunately, a lot of those scenes are really, really slow. I don't mind me a slow burning series. But when it's so drawn out, you could literally cut minutes out of each episode and it do nothing to that episode. That means you needed another edit. And coming from a film and TV background, I've only worked on a few features. I've worked on loads of shorts, music videos, corporate videos. I have an idea of pacing and storytelling. And this might be a culture thing because I haven't watched too many Turkish original series, and so maybe that's on me. If it's a culture thing, let me know down in the comments below. But personally, when I went into this, I wanted the lore, I wanted the fantastical element to it, I want the relationships that are built within, and you do get some of that you can expect and you predict of what's happening with some of those relationships. However, because it takes so long to get there, it's really frustrating to watch. You'll end up probably flicking on your phone and coming back to the bits that are interesting. And if you're watching in subtitles, you can't really do that, so you gotta read. There is a lot of dialogue, but a lot of the dialogue isn't needed. Some of it is establishing the lore and the story within and the explanations of what's going on. And when there is an antagonist, a big bad, that is a bit creepy. But even those scenes are really drawn off. There's so much of these episodes that I saw that could be cut to create a bit more of a pace, to kind of take out a bit of that. It's not even padding. It's just It's obviously chosen. They want it to be slow. They want you to immerse in the culture, in the lore, all of that. And all of that is aesthetically pleasing. When we go to different locations, it's very well set up. You feel like you're there. The atmosphere, the tone, the soundtrack, the score, the dialogue is all good. Apart from this one glaring thing. It's incredibly pretentious in the drawn off looks. How long you're going to stare at that moment to make us feel that tone. And that's where it comes back to me thinking maybe it is a culture thing. Personally, I would have cut out half of the episode and it still probably would have felt slightly long. If these were half-an-hour episodes, I would probably watch the rest of the series. So I'm going to go down the middle. I can't really rate it properly, but at the moment, I'm 2.5 Nicolas Cages out of 5. I probably will watch the rest, even though I said I won't, because I want to know what happened. So there's enough of a draw there in the story. But I am going to have to pace myself a bit, maybe watch one episode now and again and not make it a binge. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. Do you like what you've seen? Will you give it a go? Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget, we have a Patreon and an audio podcast with Movies and Munchies that we do every Sunday that is released, and that's a lot of fun with the best thing that we watch. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.